There's just like mass murder everywhere. It's so great, you guys, okay?
That's why I had to ask if I could say penis on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be like a ghost. There's gonna be like snakes falling through the walls or something.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Reading Queens podcast. We are here to talk books, creepy books, spooky books, slasher books. I'm just gonna put all the requirements in. It's technically supposed to be spooky books, but we had a hard time picking completely spooky, so I went with slasher. Obviously, no surprise there. I'm Valia, by the way. Hello, and I have two ladies visiting. Why did I say visiting? Joining me today on the podcast. This is gonna be great. Please say hello.
Hi guys, this is Abby J. Reed. Hello.
Hi, I am Tess.
Oh my God. Wow, we're just really starting off strong here. I'm ready for this. Well, welcome back to the podcast after our break. I am glad that you're here. We haven't talked to you yet since we've been back. So, Abby, what have you been up to? What can you share with our listeners from your life recently?
Well, I have had a pretty freaking exciting weekend because over the weekend I found out we are having a baby boy. Yay! So, yeah, I totally 1000% believed it was a girl.
Yeah, you did.
And like 1000%. And so I was so shocked. So shocked. I mean, I'm so happy, but so shocked. And apparently this is why I had to ask if I could say penis on the podcast, because like apparently like my first reaction was, there's a penis inside of me.
Oh my
gosh. Like it just like freaked me out. I don't know. I was like, it's
that
just
is
hilarious.
hilarious.
They're inside of me.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a little boy and I'm excited, and I don't know, here comes all the dump trucks and dinosaurs and everything.
Oh
so
my
that
gosh,
was
yep.
yeah. So that was a couple days ago, and then the very next day I showed up at bright and early 8 a.m. at my mom's house because, okay, this is my mom for you. I have two nephews, by the way. So before my first nephew was born, she told me and my sister, like all my siblings were like, just let you know, I'm not going to be the type of grandma who will like babysit on a whim. Like, I'm just not going to be that grandma. And yeah, fast forward to my two nephews, and she was like, you guys go to Jamaica. I'll babysit them for a week. Like, and I kid you not, she just finished redoing part of their yard to fit, like, with AstroTurf, to fit this 40-foot custom, like, 2-story playground.
Oh, that's in her yard?
That's in her yard. There's no way this monstrosity would fit in my yard.
Okay.
Huge. It's like Noah's Ark. It is huge. Yeah. And it took 7 people 10.5 hours to assemble this nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
And guys, it is like so epic. So yeah, she went from like, I don't know, grandkids, to like, yeah, bulldozing part of her yard to put in this like 40-foot epic playground. So yeah, it was a very eventful, fun, baby-centric weekend for me.
I love that. Yeah, Abby shared a video of her discovering that she has a boy, and her face.
It was so funny. Oh my gosh. You can really see the surprise.
Yeah, I was so shocked. So shocked.
Yeah, but that's so exciting. I'm happy for you guys and for you having a grandma who's like,
I know.
Epic about all of it.
I know. She's like, she doesn't do anything by half. Like, it's 0 or 120. There's no middle.
I mean, that's okay. You know, it's fine. Yeah, that's really fun. So congrats to you and your husband.
And our baby boy.
And your baby boy. Did you guys, do you have names? Like,
we didn't, but just this morning, one came to me, and it was like a full name came to me.
Okay.
And the first name kind of been coming back around a couple times, and I just shouted it out to my husband, and he actually just texted right before the podcast started. Mm-hmm. He was like, actually, I really like that one. So
fun.
I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Cool. Okay. Tess, what have you been up to?
Well, it'll surprise no one who's heard me talk on the podcast before that all I have to talk about is anime. That's like all that's been new is just getting into new anime obsessions. My newest one that I like have to talk about is Kaguya-sama Love is War, which I have pretty quickly, me and my husband binged the available seasons, which there's only 3 available. It is hilarious. It's like, it has a lot of rom-com vibes. It's so funny. It just like had me cracking up. Like, I'm not really like a laugh out loud type person that often. I'm like, oh, that was funny. But like this seriously, like I have like a stupid grin on my face the whole time I'm watching this show. But like the premise is that like two of these 2 characters who are in high school, in like a fancy private high school, like each other, but they refuse to admit it to each other, and they're constantly trying to like scheme how they're gonna get the other person to make like the love confession. And so, and it's just like, it goes on for so long, and their hijinks are so funny. But I will say that all you have to do is get through 3 seasons, and by the end of the 3 season, you get a really satisfying, like, I wouldn't call it a conclusion because there's still more material. It's based off a manga, and the manga still has more material after this point in the anime. But you get a really satisfying, like, romantic end to, like, it feels like an end to an arc. You're like, oh my gosh, that was so good. And like, I was just like, so like, oh, I had all the feels after we finished it yesterday. And there's like, they really hype up, or they really play up like romance tropes in like really funny ways, but also like really satisfying ways. Like, it doesn't feel like they're like making fun of them in to a degree maybe, but like it's just so fun. And I'm like, how many people can I tell about the show before someone can finally talk to me about it, because I love it so much. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe
so it's called Love is War?
Yeah, so the full title is Kaguya-sama, which is like the name of the like female main character, and it's Love is War. It's just so good. I love it, and I just want everyone to watch it.
As usual. She's just trying to convert
and that's
us.
all. That's all my life.
Is this on Netflix?
No, unfortunately, the only place I found to watch it is on Crunchyroll, which I have like a subscription to because I need to have all the animes available to me ever. But yeah, it's not like super expensive to have a Crunchyroll subscription. But even if you just get it just to watch that, like, please, how can I scheme my way into getting people to watch the show?
That's funny. I feel like there's always, anytime I watch like a YouTube video from one of like the reaction videos or whatever, they always have like or half of them recently have had like a Crunchyroll, what is it called when they sponsor? There you go. That's the word I was looking for. So you can like get like a first month free or whatever on Crunchyroll.
That's a good idea.
So you know what? It's not gonna take a month to binge those first 3 seasons. I tell you what.
So maybe one of these days, it is actually on my list of things that I want to try, like Crunchyroll, because there's so many, like, you recommend a lot of stuff, and I have a friend who recommends a lot of stuff. So I'm like, one of these days, you guys, okay?
Yeah,
that
there's
just
so
made me
many good
really
ones.
hungry though. I'm like, oh, sushi! I want sushi. That sounds so good.
That does sound good, always, actually. Yeah. So I had a book come out last Friday. That's my big news.
Yeah,
that finally happened. It's been amazing, actually. I have had so much love for this book that it makes me very happy, considering it's like, all of my heart is in this book, okay?
Tell us the title. Tell us the title.
Oh, yeah,
I already know what it is,
yeah,
but tell everyone else the title.
Yeah.
It's The Golden Slipper, and it's my Russian Cinderella retelling, and it has like the traditional Cinderella plus the Vasilisa the Beautiful folktale woven in together to make one exciting dual POV romantic fantasy.
Which is so good. I read it. I loved it so much.
Thank you. That book, I love that book so much. And I wrote it really fast. And I feel like every time I write really fast, I write very like emotional. So the book always comes out like way more special to me than not, you know? So I'm always just like, oh, please love my babies. Anyway, so that's been my weekend, my week, basically all last week. And I took some fancy pictures in a fancy dress for it with my mama. She's my little photographer. And yeah, that's it. That's what I did last week. So speaking of books, we're going to talk about some books. Yay!
Yeah.
We're in October now, so I feel like we had to start off our October podcasting with nice, spooky, crazy slasher
books,
scary books. I'm like, You guys can tell, my brain is not working today, but it's fine. So, Abby, we're going to start off with you. Tell us a spooky read that you've had read recently. Okay, I don't know English. It's fine.
So I actually just finished up What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry. She is a middle grade author, and she writes pretty much everything she's put out is spooky horror-ish for middle grade, which honestly, if it's supernatural, that's about the level I can handle is middle grade, supernatural. And I absolutely love this book. I think the title is a bit of a misnomer, so I will say that. It makes it sound like it's a, I don't know, campy horror story, or some little kid goes to camp and stuff in the tree. It's not like that at all. It's more of a haunted house type story.
Okay.
And what's super fun is the main character wants to be a mystery author when she grows up. And so she has all these Agatha Christie references and is inspired by Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple and all the big names and stuff. So it's just super cute. And there's actually a couple really freaky, creepy moments in it. I was dang, for a middle grade, okay, I don't want to be by myself up in this room. Let's read this with the light on. So yeah, I really loved it.
That's fun. Is it a standalone?
Yes. All her books are standalone.
Okay. That's cool.
So you can pretty fast read. I would read it with the lights on, but again, my tolerance is pretty low. But I also really liked the ending. And I'm not going to spoil it, but it really felt like the perfect middle grade ending without I don't know how to spoil it, but it just tonally, it just fit. Okay. And I don't know, it fit me. So I'm okay with it.
It was great for me. That's cool. I don't read a lot of middle grade, but I feel like if I do ever want to read middle grade, it's always Halloween-y books. Because I feel like that's the ones that would actually be okay for me to read. Because it's not I have anything against middle grade. I just don't connect to the characters the same way I do, so I just don't make myself read it. Yeah. And it's fine.
I have to be in certain moods. I love middle grade, but I love humorous middle grade. And there's a particular type of humor that I really, really connect with. And so Stuart Gibbs' style, I do like Rick Riordan. Gosh, I'm blanking on some. Dang it. But yeah, But yeah, I do like the spooky stuff too. Alexandra Bracken's or her what's it called?
I know it's the duology.
It's the duology. Alistair.
Yes. Yeah, that one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
The dreadful really. Something.
Yeah, The Dreadful Life. Dang it.
Okay,
anyway, you'll have to look it up. Yeah.
I was it's right
it's
there.
My bookshelf's in the other room. Yeah, those are I've been. Gosh, when the first one came out, I read that on Halloween, the 31st, as kids were trick-or-treating. Really? I'm sitting there, reading that book. So I always try to find something fun to read while, kids are trick-or-treating at my house.
Aww. That's cool.
Just makes it more special.
Yeah, that's fun. I should read that I think I haven't read the second book. I've read the first one, but I haven't read the second one.
The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding.
There you go.
Got it.
We made it. It's fine.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, those were fun. See, I read I've read some middle grade. Sometimes I forget I've read middle grade. Anyway, okay. Well, that's cool. Tess, you want to talk about your book now?
Yeah, so for my spooky read, I wanted to think of something because I have read some books that are really good for the spooky season. I just finished up A Dreadful Splendor, which had a lot of those vibes, but I really wanted to talk about a book that actually made me feel creeped out, which is rare. Okay. So I'm a little more easy to spook out than to spook. What spook out? Is that even a word?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Go with it.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Then Valia is, okay? Valia is a lot harder to scare than I am, but I'm still pretty hard to scare. I don't get, especially in books. So I was what is the last time I've actually felt creeped out? And I was I have a love-hate relationship with that feeling of you watch a really spooky show or something. The last thing that made me creeped out was probably The Haunting of Hill House. Just a couple of the creepy background ghosts and
I don't know
stuff.
if I can say that. No.
But anyways, yeah, that and like going to the bathroom and being alone and like expecting one of the like ghosts to show up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry up and finish going to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, so I hate that feeling and love it. But I was like, when's the last time I felt like that with a book? So the book I chose that gave me those feelings, and I'm going to say it only gave me those feelings for a short period of time, was Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. So this one, like, it starts off with, like, presenting some things that seem very similar to Hill House. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be spooky. There's, like, some haunted house things going on. And, like, so I think it was about, like, the 25% I was at about that point. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is, like, really good. And it's, like, creeping me out. And I was having that same thing where I'm like, I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh, my gosh, there's going to be, like, a ghost. There's going to be, like, snakes falling through the walls or something like that. And I, like, get really creeped out. I'm like, oh, I gotta run back to the room really fast. And it's like I hate it, but I love it because it's like so fun and so horrible. But from this point on, I'm going to spoil this book. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen, like skip ahead.
Yeah, I'll put a timestamp in the description so you guys know when Tess is done spoiling
All
this
three
book.
of us have read this book, which is fun, by the way.
So here we go. So after about like, I feel like it was maybe 25% in, I started getting this like dreadful feeling, not the good kind that's like, oh, I can't wait to be like, go to the bathroom so I can be scared out of my wits, but the bad kind of dread where I was like, I don't think that there's actually ghosts. And I started feeling a little more certain of that the longer I read, and it was really hard for me so here's a little more about the book. It gives flashbacks to like before and then now, and the before has all this really spooky paranormal stuff, and it's super creepy, and it's supposed to have to do with like about the main character's past. And as I started becoming a little more certain that like this stuff, like this is going to turn out that this isn't real, that none of this stuff is real, it was so much harder for me to enjoy those spooky chapters because I was like, this isn't real, like none of this is it? And there was like some really fun scenes where I was like, okay, that's really cool. If that's like if this paranormal stuff is really happening, that's like so cool. But the more that I read in the now chapters, everything kept being explained away. And I was like, none of this is linking up to the back then chapters, which is the spooky stuff. And I'm like, this isn't going to be about like about a haunted house, is it? And more spoilers. Again, if you don't want to be spoiled the ending of this book, turn back now. Skip ahead. Go find the timestamp. At the end, none of the spooky stuff was real. And I saw it coming, but I was like disappointed because when I picked up this book, I was really in for wanting a spooky read. I did not sit down with this book wanting to have everything explained away. I wanted to be scared. I set aside time to be scared. So yeah, as I finished the book and I got to the end, I just had like that, like it was good. It was a really good book. Okay, overall it was good. You know, it had a good concept, but the fact that I wanted to be like scared, I wanted to read a scary paranormal book that was going to remind me of Hill House. I'm not always in a mood for that, but I was. And the fact that it did not deliver that made it feel disappointing, even though like maybe if I had different expectations, I'm like, oh man, that was a really good book. But yeah, so that is the last time that I felt actually like creeped out in a book. But then I was just so crushed that I was like, man, I can't even be scared anymore. This sucks.
Yes, I remember that too because that was, the way the book was presented, it was definitely advertised as it was going to be spooky. Like they played up on that, okay? So it's not like we were duped in that sense because that's how they presented it to us. And Riley Sager repeatedly up until that book, people always would be like, oh, is it going to be paranormal or is it not, right? And with this book, they really stepped into it being like the spooky paranormal thing, and then they didn't deliver. And so I like right away, I knew it wasn't going to be like the spooky that I wanted. And I wasn't creeped out by the old chapters either. But I was like, oh, it would be really cool if they explain everything away. And then at the very end, it would be like, you know, like that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Right?
I would have been happy about that.
Yes. And so, but then that didn't happen. And I was like, okay, I think this is like almost my least favorite book by him.
Oh, really? See, it was one of my favorite ones by him.
Really?
But I think it's because I am a supernatural wimp.
Oh,
so you're like, oh, thank heavens.
Yeah, and it's like I can pee without somebody like killing me. This is great. And so Yeah, and I really liked the back and forth and kind of finding out, oh, this is, okay, again, spoiler, like, this is the fiction story that the dad wrote, like, oh, I write fiction. I don't know, I connected to it on that level, like, I write fiction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I actually liked that everything got resolved because I like sleeping at night. So I was like,
I mean, I sleep
okay
fine at night, okay?
Yeah, but you would be a final girl.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
In a yeah, I would
guys.
I wouldn't be the first one dead because I'm not stupid enough to go outside at night by myself. But like, I'd probably be second or third dead.
Okay.
Like, so, but you would be a final girl all the way. Absolutely.
Valia would be the final girl, and I'd be the one that no one even knew was there because I would hide forever, and then I would never see anything scary, and then I would escape, and I would never make the news, and no one would know that I was involved because I just hid. No one knew where I was.
You're the mysterious survivor that, like, 15 years later, you know.
Someone survived, but we don't know who it was, and we left no
it's
trace.
Like dug up when some senior research paper is, like, going back to the murder. Like, oh, by the way, there's, like, a secret survivor. That's where you would come in.
That's funny. Actually, speaking of final girls, there is a book that I just got on Kindle, and it's like, what is it?
How to Survive Your Murder? Did you do it? Did you get it?
No, not yet.
Sorry. You need to get that one.
Okay. No, but I got, it was the Final Girl Survival Group.
Oh, the
like
Final Girl
that.
Support Group? That one, I want to read that one.
Okay.
Oh,
I haven't read it,
I'm
though.
looking that one up.
Yeah, that one sounds really, really good. And I'm like, oh, I don't expect to be creeped out, but I'm like really intrigued by it because I just love that concept of the Final Girls, and having like Riley Sager has the Final Girls book that I really love. So like having that concept is really cool. So I will let you know what I think about that book.
Ooh,
I do have a
if
book.
it's good, tell me because I want to read it.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh, yeah. This one looks good.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Speaking of Final Girls, I guess The Clown in the Cornfield is my book, and it kind of like deals with the slasher themes, and so there is a final girl kind of concept. I've talked about this book briefly on the podcast before, I believe so, because I was reading the second book. Because the first book can just be read as a standalone. You don't have to read the second book. But that just came out, and okay, so let me start at the beginning. Clown in the Cornfield by Adam, whose last name I will not try to pronounce because I will butcher it. But it basically talks, it's about Quinn, who, like, the tagline for it is, Quinn Maybrook just wants to make it until graduation, but she might not make it to morning. And it's about her and her father moving to this, good. Right? They moved to
I got the blurb up right now.
Perfect.
Going through it.
But they moved to, her and her dad moved to this like boring tiny town, right? And like nothing happens in this town since like their corn syrup factory has been shut down. And so there's like the adults who are desperate to make the Kettle Springs great again, and then there's like the kids who want to have fun, make prank videos, and blah blah blah. Anyway, so then they have like this, what is it, clown in the Cornfield, a clown that's like their mascot. Yeah. And so then he's like this creepy clown, and then suddenly he just starts killing people. Like he shows up because he's the mascot for the town, but then he like actually physically shows up and starts killing people. So now Quinn like literally just barely moved into this tiny town, met like 2 people, and all of a sudden there's just like mass murder everywhere. It's so great, you guys. Okay, no, but I love this book. I'm not gonna say anything like more about what it's about besides like the fact that it's very slasher-esque. Like it's super super fast-paced, which I loved because I've read other slasher-esque books before, and I feel like the writer has like never seen a slasher. And I'm like, okay, because it like starts out really gruesome, and then it's like most of the book is just coming of age or something like not, you know what I mean? And it's like, I get like what you're trying to do, but this is a slasher book. Kill some people.
You're not here for character growth. You're here to see people die and not feel guilty about it.
Right, exactly. So this one was great. In sense that like the writing was super approachable. It was very fast paced. It was very slashery, and it like I wasn't surprised by some things, but I was like satisfied with them. The way that he did some things, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, do this. Oh, he did it. Yes. Like the whole book, I was just like, oh, I wonder if do this. He did it. Okay, cool. Adam, yes, thank you. Like, I was very happy with that. And I think I did look him up afterwards, and I'm pretty sure he like is a movie buff or something like that. So like this was like a perfect way for him to write a book. So it made me very happy. But yeah, and then there's like a second one that has like kind of a, okay, I'm not gonna say what it's about because I don't want to like give spoilers away. Yeah. But it was really fun. And I feel like that's, for me, when it comes to like the Halloween season and like the spooky reads, I either need like super atmospheric, like because I know I'm not going to be creeped out, right? So I need super atmospheric, something that just like gets me in the spooky mood, even if I'm not creeped out, or something that's like full on campy, slasher, crazy, just like murder bunch of people thing.
Okay. I really think you would like How to Survive Your Murder.
Okay.
I do.
Perfect.
Okay, and I suggested this to Valia over like Instagram's like, you got to read this one. But okay, but if everyone's reading it, don't read the blurb. Don't read the blurb. Just jump in.
Okay.
Cuz like how it's pitched in the blurb, I think takes away a big like plot twist in the middle of it, which is fine. But just go for it, and then just go for it. And it takes place on Halloween.
Okay.
And there's like murder in a cornfield. So you got your murder, and it's very kind of slashery.
Okay.
And then like I kind of saw a couple of the twists coming, but I did not see the twist coming at the end. And so I was really happy with that.
Okay.
And you read all the way through it, Like,
you just told me there's a twist at the end, so I'm going to figure it out really fast.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
That's fine.
There's like, we'll see.
Okay. So that will be my next read then. I will go ahead and grab it so that I can read it because Abby's not going to leave me alone. No, I'm just kidding. I constantly, like, Abby will ask for, you know, oh, like, do you have any recommendation? And I'm like, I don't remember any creepy book I've ever read. Like, I just, like, really have to think about it. So I got to grab it while I'm thinking about it. Perfect.
Yeah. And it's definitely bingeable. And again, like, some things you see coming. And then some things you don't. And then but it's slashery and it's a fun ride.
Okay.
And it does have the whole like Final Girl-esque like theme to it.
Which I love. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it and I'm just going to like text you as I'm reading it to give you my thoughts so that you can like see my progression. Because I did this with my mom.
I want to see this.
I did this with my mom who doesn't read my books and she's just like, you're so weird. I'm like, it's fine. It's a process. So perfect. I will do that. So that'll be my next read. Abby, what are you reading next? Are you reading anything spooky? Tell me.
Well,
something
right now
spooky.
I am, but a lot of them are on hold at the library. So like Stephen King's Fairy Tale, I've been wanting to read that. I'm on like, I don't know, 352nd in line at the library.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and then I just picked up The Archived by Victoria Schwab. It's one of her earlier novels. Library of the Dead was in like the description. So I want to read that. And then some other ones. The Weight of Blood that just came out. I heard that's pretty like bloody, gruesome-y or horror-y or something like that. So I was like, okay.
Horror-y.
But I'm still, deep in line. Riley Sager's newest. I am now 65th in line.
Oh, we're getting closer.
We're getting closer.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's fun.
I've got to wait.
Yeah, but those all sound good. I don't know about that new one that you mentioned. I'll have to look that up for sure.
Yeah, it's by Tiffany D. Jackson.
Okay.
So, we'll see. I've just heard it's like a good horror-ish one. So I was like, all right. It's Halloween. Sign me up.
Perfect. Tess, what are you reading? Spooky reading next?
I mean, I'm not really reading anything spooky right now, but I mean, Valia, you already know this because we're buddy reading the Stardust Thief, and that's like pretty much all I've been keeping up with. I'm also reading, making my way, I mentioned this last time, but I am reading all the books in the Arranged Marriages of the Fae series, which is part of a group release that I'm in, and I am on Married by Treachery by Barbara Kloss, and so I'm I'm reading that one right now, and I just started it, and it's so good. It is there's banter and stabby romance, and I'm loving it.
Stabby romance.
But I do kind of want like a horror one to read right now, or like so I don't know. Maybe I'll look up the Final Girl support group, because sometimes I'm in a mood to read something that's a little bit more fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can
thrillers always do
Cornfield.
that. I could, but the title, I hate the title so much.
I hate clowns too.
And cornfields, but I mean, I bet it's good. But yeah, the title, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I know Hannah always, anytime I mention this book, she's like, I hate clouds and I hate cornfields, so that's a no for me.
I probably would love it though, but
that's
we'll
cool.
see.
Yeah, so we are buddy reading a book, so I'm excited about that. We've been doing that.
Which book again?
The Stardust Thief by Chelsea.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Chelsea Abdullah, I think it is.
Yes. Okay.
I've seen the cover.
Yeah, so we're like 100 and some pages in, and things are
happening.
Gonna happen now.
Things are happening now. The plot's picking up. Things are coming together.
We've been waiting for that, okay? No, it's been good. Like, the writing is really nice. It's, like, not... I always have problems with fantasy, which is why I, like, love the fact that Tess and I are reading it together, because I have to process out loud, and when you have nobody to process out loud with, it's kind of, like, not the same experience. But we're processing out loud, so it's great.
And we're like, our main concern is like where the romance is. Yeah. And like, okay, so this isn't like technically an adult fantasy, and like, so there's a little bit less like I feel like if you're reading a young adult fantasy and they present a romantic character, you can pretty safely say there's going to be a romance in this. But like, I feel like adult gets to play around with that concept a little more, and they can abandon the romance without like angering people a little bit more than like young adult fantasy can. Yeah. But like, so every conversation that we have that are like, okay, do you think this might be like the couple, or like, are you shipping them? And like, these characters haven't even like interacted yet. But we're like, I bet like this would be a really good ship, right? Like, nothing about the actual plot. We're just like, I think I'm shipping them.
Yeah, we're funny. It just cracks me up. But yeah, we'll have to do like a whole talk about it on the podcast. Maybe maybe another queen like will read it, and then we could just have like a whole discussion.
That would be fun.
But yeah, that will be all for us today at this podcast. That I've forgotten the language, the English language that I'm using.
Like, how do we say the end? How do we say I am done, go home, goodbye?
None of the words are coming out in how they're supposed to, okay? But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Before you go, please go ahead and follow us on your favorite podcast platform and give us a star rating or a review. Those really help us to be seen, and we want to continue to make these. So please spread the word and tell your friends and family members and your dog and cat and everybody else. And follow us on Instagram at Reading Queens Pod, and we are pretty active on there now that we're back to recording, so come play some of the games that we have on there and talk books with us. And yeah, be back next Wednesday. We're gonna have another fun conversation about books, because that's what we do. And until then, happy reading, happy living your life, and that is all. Okay,
bye guys.